An Ontario cabinet minister has resigned over some of his expense claims, charging to stay in hotels in a city he already lives in. And there are calls for more ministers or caucus members to follow him out the door for nearly crossing the same line. The CBC's Lane Harrison joins me now from Toronto. Lane, Toronto hotels, when you live in Toronto in this economy, walk us through this scandal. What's going on here?
Right. So Tourism Minister Stan Cho announcing his resignation today because of a special circumstances rule that allows MPPs here at Queen's Park to expense accommodation if they are staying late in the legislature or if there is inclement weather. And Stan Cho says that he did just that to the tune of about $16,000 since 2023. The problem is, though, that Cho's home riding of Willowdale is on the same subway line as Queen's Park. It's about 9 stops away. And if you didn't want to take the subway as a cabinet minister, he was also entitled to a taxpayer-paid driver and car who could help get him home from Queen's Park on some of these later nights. Now, in a statement today, Cho saying that he did this because it was easier for him, but he sees now that it wasn't the right decision and that it was just for late nights. But the interesting thing about that is that we looked back at, say, December 2025, when Cho billed about $6,000 to taxpayers for accommodations. The latest that the legislature sat in December 2025 was $703. So I'll let the audience judge whether that's late enough to be qualifying for a hotel room or not. Now, Premier Ford facing a lot of questions about this today. Here's him reacting to Cho's decision to resign.
It's unacceptable. It's not how we operate. We have to be prudent fiscal managers. Stan did the right thing, and he handed in his resignation as cabinet, and it's just unacceptable. And they're paying back every single penny of it.
So Cho is not the only GTA MPP coming under fire for this. We also have Hardeep Grewal from Brampton East, the parliamentary assistant for transportation, who, according to the Canadian Press, billed $27,000 in accommodations since 2023. We have Nina Tangri, the associate minister of small business, who represents Mississauga Streetsville and has billed nearly $19,000 since 2023 in accommodations, and Charmaine Williams, the associate minister for women's social development and economic opportunity, who billed more than $15,000 for accommodations despite representing Brampton Centre. Now, those 3 MPPs do not represent Toronto riding specifically, but they are in the suburbs. And if you went to Union Station right now, you'd find a lot of people who are commuting back to those very suburbs after working the day in Toronto.
7:03 p.m. is 3 minutes after this show ends. Just for context, it's not exactly midnight. So look, this is catnip for the opposition, right? I would assume. I mean, what are they saying about all of this?
Yeah, no surprise to hear that the opposition at Queen's Park is not happy with Doug Ford's government. The NDP leader, Marit Stiles, saying that the resignation is not enough, that people want more, they want answers, and that this is not just going to sweep it under the rug for the government. She's calling for more punishment as well for those other MPPs in the suburbs that I mentioned. The Liberals also saying that this is not a one-off thing. This is a systemic and cultural issue within the Ford government. Here's Liberal interim leader John Fraser.
This is just the tip of the iceberg. There's a culture of entitlement in this government. It starts at the top. You know, the Premier bought himself a luxury private jet. And I guess everybody feels, all his caucus members, that they can, that they're able to do the same kind of thing. That they're not worried about how they're spending taxpayers' money.
And David, I will just mention that the Ford government is now moving to completely axe this special circumstances rule that has gotten them in so much hot water in the recent days.
Okay, Lane, thank you so much. That's the CBC's Lane Harrison at Queen's Park. Thanks, man.